Alright, pulling in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pull. So, as usual, that little trick, make sure that you have blood shield, or sorry, not blood shield, bone shield charges already, and that your bone shield is off CD when pulling as a DK. It's also nice as a DK here, you can help AoE grip these ads, you can single grip these ads, you can taunt these ads, it's very useful. So basically what the tanks do in our guild here on this fight, go ahead Laurel, is we usually, honestly for no other reason than vengeance whoring purposes, we usually sit on the boss and don't let our stacks fall off at all. The reason for that being just vengeance. It's a bit dangerous on a DK though because he hits quite hard towards the end. Taunting. He hits quite hard towards the end, and if you don't have enough CDs to survive, he chews through your blood shield quite easily and can kill you at high stacks like you guys saw last week if you watched me play my DK on this fight. So it's very important that you rotate your CDs properly as a DK if you're planning to do that. It is definitely doable as a DK, but not recommended as a DK if you don't need the DPS, if you want to play it safer, you know what I mean? Let's get to safe spot.
By the door. Close speed marker there, it's not chopping for some reason.
On up.
Door we came in from. Yes. Where Royce is.
No!
Let's get them rest. So Laryl just taunted there. I'm going to leave the boss on him a bit. As you can see, I'm already at 50% health because he's starting to hit quite hard. And this is with bone shield charges up. So it's going to be kind of sketchy to taunt him. I basically have to taunt him with IBF once I taunt him at the end. But just to be safe, because I don't want our raid to wipe, I'm going to let my stacks fall off and then taunt him. There's no reason to risk it. We don't need the DPS currently, taunting. So I've taunted, my stacks have fallen off, and now I'm going to let Larold let his stacks fall off because he will be tanking the boss during the blood phase. And there's no point, if he has stacks during the blood phase, he will die. So he needs to have his stacks fall off in order to tank the blood phase. So once I taunted around anywhere between 70 and 80 energy left on Malkorok, I tank the boss for the rest of phase 1, and after that is over, Larold will taunt and tank for the entirety of phase 2 because Brewmaster Monks are extremely good at doing that. So the third smash just happened after soaks. I'm going to move the boss to the safe spot here, meanwhile spamming my blood shield. I'm going to pop Vamp too, just in case. You know, I don't want to get gibbed randomly towards the end. So there's the Blood Rage, back right. So we start on back right foot. So we start on back right foot, and then we move to the back left foot whenever one of the melee on the right foot get displaced energy. In the meantime, I'm just sitting here, you know, doing my rotation, making sure I have a full blood shield for when I taunt the boss out of this phase. Now that the phase is almost over.
It always scare me when they get stuff. They could always be melee, you never know.
Taunting. So as soon as phase 1 starts again, I taunt the boss back. I make sure I have full blood shield charge, which I did, and I make sure that I have bone shield charges, which I do. I have 11 of them, and they're up for another 4 minutes, basically. As soon as those ads get in, I drop a Blood Boil, I drop a D&D on top of them just to help DPS them down. Make sure I keep my Soul Reaper uptime on the boss. You get taunt. After that first smash is Laryl's turn to taunt. It gives me a good little chance to recharge my blood shield, which is getting shit on at the end there. Once these ads come a bit closer, I'm going to AoE grip them. There they goes. Make sure I get a Blood Boil on them. So I'm going to Empowered Rune, taunting. So I'm going to taunt. I have about 900k on my blood shield. That's okay. He just chewed right through it. I still have bone shield charges galore. So I'm just going to rotate other personal CDs that I have right now because he's hitting quite hard. I just procced my perk. So I just popped my perk there. So healers are either not paying attention or they're busy doing other things right now. So I'm going to pop my IBF just to make sure I don't die because something sketchy is going on with healing. He's chewing through my bone shield and I'm not getting healed. I'm not getting healed the amount that I need to get healed. So Larold is taunted here. I'm not going to taunt again until I get a full blood shield charge up. He's chewing through it in about 1 or 2 hits. If I want to be safe here, which I should let my stacks drop. They have about 10 seconds left on them. However, the boss is so close to dying that I'm just going to pop all my CDs and taunting. So I popped all my CDs just to taunt. Might die, might not. Didn't. So that's it. This fight is just a bit sketchy as a DK. The reason being that, as you guys saw, it's much easier for a tank with a set timer active mitigation, aka every tank but a DK, let's move up for trash, guys, to tank this boss. The reason being that, let's say on a paladin, I pop my Shield of the Righteous. I know that Shield of the Righteous I know that that Shield of the Righteous will be active for 3 seconds, no matter what. However, with a Blood Shield, actually, before I rant on that, let me put up the straw poll for the next one. With a Blood Shield, if it gets chewed through, and I'm already out of either Death Runes or Unholy and Frost Runes in order to get more Death Strikes in, I'm basically a sitting duck. And you saw how hard he was hitting me regardless that I had Bone Shield up basically the entire fight. Which tank for spoils? So it's a bit tougher on a DK to do that Vengeance Horn towards the end. You basically need an ideal DR CD rotation, and frankly, you need to mooch a bit from external cooldowns, which is hard to do because the Brewmaster tank needs most, if not all, of those external cooldowns to survive the Blood phase by himself.